You're listening to Jazz Under the Bridge.
Music is before everything.
Yeah, I see.
Like it's so many times I meet a DJ. Oh, I want to be just like you. Okay, I'm gonna figure out if you want to be just like you. What's the most important part about DJing? Oh, the way you move the crowd. You don't want to be like. Nah, you can go be a DJ, but you're gonna tell who's great from who's cool.
Right.
There's gonna be cool, and then there's gonna be guys who are great. The guys who are great are gonna answer you the music. But what's the most important part of DJ? Most important part, the music. It's an easy question, super easy question. Can't imagine how many people get it wrong. Not even just like true to yourself. Like that's time. Like that's time, B. There's time matter to you at all? Because right now you're blowing through time. Facts.
Libra season.
Check,
Really,
1, 2.
Really.
You know, I'm a Libra rising, so I appear as if I'm a Libra, so they say. But both my parents are Libras.
I didn't know your mom
Mom
was
and dad.
Libra.
Yeah. Her birthday's coming up soon. October 17th. Shouts to Mom Deuce.
Amazing.
For sure. So, one love. This is Jazz Under the Bridge with MWill, and I have a super duper special guest today. Probably one of the biggest inspirations to me when it comes to all things culture, and it comes to all things,
Fresh.
super duper fresh in New York City. I learn new things about you every time I delve into the the internets.
I just hope it's nothing crazy.
No.
Okay. As long as it's nothing crazy.
No, it's completely all things, inspirational. And you just mentioned my pops. His birthday just passed, so shouts to my pops. Your birthday just passed.
Yes, sir.
And
And
so
you know me and your pops are super tight.
absolutely.
I mean, like, still. Like, it's not a was. Like, the day I met Marlon, he became my man's.
Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to know all about In Control, and I want to know all about
Haha.
the radio days, and the early A&R days, and way before my time, things way before me.
Okay.
Because
Go ahead.
my parents met there. My parents actually met at BLS. So, probably you were probably there.
Yeah, I was probably there.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're here with
Yeah.
Uncle Clark Kent in
At
the
least you
building.
know. At least you know.
On Kent Ave. That's
Well,
right.
Almost home.
Yeah,
We're
it
in
should
Brooklyn,
be.
so anything closely attached to my name is all good out here.
Nice. Yeah, so let's talk the origins. I know you originally from Crown Heights. You're from the Crown, is that correct?
I'm actually from Panama. I was raised in
Forgive me.
Crown Heights.
Yes. You Panamanian. I'm Colombian.
I'm Panamanian. I know you're Colombian.
Shit.
I know that much. I know your mom's is Colombian.
Guys
I know that.
Everything. Shit.
I know. I mean, you have to understand. Like, I know you when you were a thought. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I was you was a thought when I knew you before you were a reality. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. That's incredible. Well, you heard it from the God himself. That's
I don't
pretty
mean to
crazy.
make it sound weird or anything in here, but like it is kind of ill for him to be interviewing me when he probably knows a bunch just based off of his origins himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a kid, probably didn't realize he was hearing my name like every weekend
Right.
because I was with his pops every weekend.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
right.
I know it might be a little off.
No, that's good. I mean, this is refreshing because not very often do I I feel like I know it to be a reality, but not many people can hear it from the horse's mouth themselves, and hear it from from the source. So golly, oh man. So yeah, let's get it started. So you was
Okay.
born in Panama.
Yeah.
Shouts to the Panamanian connection. You know, Ian over here says we're at Lucky Laced. He's also Panamanian as well.
It's good blood right there. Okay.
Indeed.
What part of Panama? Dog, what kind of fake
Come on,
Panamanian shit
come
is
on.
that, B? At least front like you know and say the Canal Zone or something, man. Come
Canal
on,
Zone.
bruh.
You say the wrong things and be like,
Yeah, okay. It's all good.
It's peace and love. That's what makes it so nice. I got the Colombian, side of me, and if anybody has done their history correctly, you know that Panama used to be a part of Colombia at one point, and there was a backed situation with Mr. Tread Lightly but Carry a Big Stick. He goes by Teddy Roosevelt. He put on for the canal.
True.
But I've always admired Panamanian history, so I know you come directly from the cloth, and I've heard some amazing stories. Like the way I view you as an uncle, you viewed certain leaders as uncles as well.
For sure.
Yeah. So there's
I've had
something to it.
plenty of time hanging out in Noriega's house and General Torrijos' house, and I mean, by default of my mother being attached to the government, as well as she was a very famous singer in Panama. She's an opera singer, but she was very, very famous, and also being attached to the government, she was Vice Consul General of Panama too. So, finding yourself around Noriega wasn't like a thing to us because he was like family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We lived blocks away from Rod Carew, and like in another direction, Roberto Duran, and these are people that we saw like regularly, and it
Absolutely. Panama City.
Yeah.
Panama City.
I'm from Rio Bajo, right off of Central Avenue in Panama City.
Amazing. Well, represent.
True that.
So when did you make your way over to the Crown?
I came here when I was 2 months old, but went back every year. So, we have a house right on Calle 13. We're really Panamanian. I can't get away from that.
Right. Okay, cool. So those summers, let's talk about Brooklyn. Let's talk about old Brooklyn, because right now we're in the middle of a gentrified part of Williamsburg. I'm sure maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I mean, 5 years ago it wasn't even like this. 10 years ago it wasn't like this. But that's all I remember. But I'm sure you got stories about, Brooklyn before it's reaching its apex that it is today.
My Brooklyn stories. I mean, when you look at Williamsburg now, and it's nice and people live around here, it was basically all factories back in those days. There was nothing to come back here for. You know what I'm saying? It was, if you're not going to a factory, then what you coming back here for? The most livable area close to here was Bushwick, and that was very hood. And then next to Bushwick is Bed-Stuy and all of that. And then you were just dealing with more hood. You dealing with Bed-Stuy, you dealing Marcy Projects is like blocks away from Bushwick. So it's you was either in the hood or you wasn't. And now over here, it's super nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Super cool. You feel safe on Kent Ave, right? You feel super safe.
Well, yeah, everybody feels safe, which is in Brooklyn kind of, I mean, if you understand old Brooklyn, it's kind of unheard of. You know what I'm saying? To sound like, you in Bed-Stuy and you safe. You in Crown Heights and you safe. Safe? Even like Bushwick is getting safe.
Absolutely.
That's nuts. It really is. Like, no shot to no sections. Like, Brownsville is about to get safe. It's going to take a minute for East New York to get that way, but everywhere else that used to be crazy, like Red Hook used to be nuts. It's safe. Like, that sounds bananas to someone who came up in them streets.
Right. And do you think, I mean, I often have this conversation with a lot of my friends and, my people that are from New York City. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Do you think it's a bad thing, like, for safety to really be, like, supported and heralded in the city? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think being safe is ever going to be bad.
Okay.
I just think that the guys that which is under is kind of whack. Like, it's safe now that there's more Europeans You have better police protection. You have better police patrolling because as Europeans, it almost seems like when they weren't here, it was like, yeah, let them kill each other. You know what I'm saying? So now that they're moving in and they're buying buildings and they're moving black folks out, it's, hey, I wonder if they're safe over there. Get some patrols. And the funny thing is, we could have that in our neighborhoods. It's just that we stick so many stereotypes attached to those type of things that it doesn't come off cool. Like you got a bunch of people who will scream, stop snitching. The only way you can snitch is if you got cops to tell. If you're not telling the cops to come around, you ain't got no cops to tell. Right. But they're not thinking about the fact that the crimes they're doing are crimes that they're doing to their own kind. So 100%. You're killing yourself. Yeah. But if the cops cared about the people themselves, then making more rounds would be more appealing to the people as well, because they wouldn't have these crimes perpetuated against themselves. Even though it is themselves doing it against themselves, you can't really do the crime if the cops are all over it. You know what I mean? So the only reason why it's nice over here is because the cops are all over it. You know what I mean? And when white folks move into these black neighborhoods, they don't move in like, oh my God, I'm going to a black neighborhood. They go in like, well, this is our new neighborhood. Right. And then when black folks, they look at it and they don't feel that same sense of, bravado, they can get moved out easily. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can come and go, yeah, well, I got this money, but let me buy your house. Because they're already looking at what's happening in the neighborhood going, oh my God, they're trying to get rid of us. Instead of saying, you're not getting rid of me.
Facts.
I'm gonna stay.
Facts of life. Yeah, you got to, adjust with the times and stay strong, because, that's what it's all about.
Now, I'd like to apologize for going all political just now.
This is necessary. No, this is the talks that we need to have here.
Pardon me, my allergies are kicking in right now.
No worries. You good? You need a water? We got some water right here. All right, no doubt. Well, that's everything. We have these discussions here very often. So we're here at Lucky Lace, the sneaker shop. Shouts to Ian, the owner. I manage here. And, we have these conversations pretty often. It becomes often like a barbershop for us. We have these constructive conversations. And, the backdrops are, beautiful silhouettes from the swoosh and three stripes. And, it's just really fitting for us because, we're children of hip-hop. We're hip-hop heads. And I want to go as far as bridging the gap between jazz and hip-hop. Mm-hmm. And just I want people to appreciate Miles Davis the way, I want people to appreciate Rakim the way they appreciate Miles Davis. And so on and so forth. You can find connections and parallels between greats and hip-hop artists. So that's what we're here, and that's what this is all about for us. And fashion has always been a major part of, jazz and culture and hip-hop music. So let's talk a little bit about, back in Brooklyn. I know there was some spot like, what's Shirt Kings all about? I've been hearing about Shirt Kings for a minute.
Shirt Kings are from Queens.
Okay.
They were on Jamaica.
Okay.
At the Coliseum.
All right,
cool. And they were like the airbrush Shirt Kings.
Okay,
and, just the way it sounds, they were the Shirt Kings. They made shirts there. And if you were, I guess, if you saw it, you wanted one. So you went to them, they made your shirt. You went to the club, people were like, that's a Shirt King shirt. And that's basically what they were. But they were the shit, though. They were dope graffiti artists who turned what they were doing on walls, put it on shirts, and use the characters and made you want to have a Shirt King shirt because, of course, it would be a one of one.
Okay, right. See, that's the real deal right there. So what are spots like that were in Brooklyn? Because I mean, Jamaica is so far away, it kind of blurs the lines sometimes between Brooklyn and Queens. And so what is that Boulevard? Linden goes through.
There's no blurred lines. Jamaica Queens is Jamaica Queens. That's Queens. There's no blurred lines. All right, we had Belmont Ave, we had Pickens Avenue, we had sometimes Sutter, we had Utica Avenue, we had Flatbush Avenue, we had Church Avenue. These are all places you could shop back in the days. We had Fulton Street, you had Albee Square Mall back in the days. We had places where we went to go get fresh.
And Albee Square Mall, that's over in Brooklyn Heights, or not Brooklyn, that's downtown Brooklyn.
Downtown Brooklyn, yeah.
Okay.
Big Daddy Kane lived behind Albee Square Mall.
I hear Biz actually lived there too, right?
Well, now his uncle owned a sneaker store in there.
What? No,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Ah,
Well, yeah, what kind
that's
of
the
sneaker
reason why
store?
his sneaker game was nuts, because
Right,
his
I heard.
uncle owned a sneaker store inside of there.
Okay. So that's crazy. So they were a fully blown sneaker shop selling.
No, it was a sneaker shop. It was the biggest sneaker store in Albee Square Mall, and that was his uncle who owned it.
That's pretty fire. All right, so shouts to Biz Marquis to God.
Like, if you ever question why his sneaker game was so crazy, if you had a sneaker store, your sneaker game is gonna be crazy if you can go to a place that always will have the shoe for you. Like
Right.
Fat Joe, back in the days, he used to work at a sneaker store. Like, that sneaker store continued to hold him down. Then the sneaker store changed the name and called it FJ560 for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a place where he would always go and his sneakers would be held down. Like, he was in it like that.
Right.
Me, I was just a junkie. I was spending money on sneakers.
Okay, yeah. It's like, let's talk about how you got into this whole game, because I know you refrain from being considered a cultural icon, or because there's you don't consider there a sneaker culture, right?
I don't necessarily call it. Matter of fact, I don't call it sneaker culture. I don't care what anybody else decides to call it. I can't parallel the love for sneakers on the same level as you parallel Islam, because Islam is a culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a culture. That's a way of life. Like, sneakers aren't a way of life. Sneakers are clothes, and everybody should have a pair of sneakers. That's gonna be their comfortable go-to, and you'll have shoes, sneakers, shoes, and some boots. Now, I feel that there are some people who are more enthusiastic about sneakers than others, i.e., the person who owns the store.
Shouts to Ian.
You know what I'm saying? He has a reselling store. He has a consignment shop instead of having just a regular sneaker shop where you have to have another kind of love for sneakers to have a consignment shop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, it's just some people are more enthusiastic about shoes than others. Me, it wasn't necessarily shoes. I was extremely enthusiastic about being fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't say I'm a sneaker addict. I'm a fresh addict. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we was young, I'm 9 years old, and I'm looking at the older guys on the block who treated us like brothers. So even though I'm 9 and they're 16 and 17, we were basically all the same age because of the way that they treated us. So we looked at them and tried to figure out why they get the pretty girls, or why they got so many girls. What makes us look at them and think they're cool? You know what I'm saying? But we wanted to be just like them. So you look and you think, oh, their sneakers are fresh. Maybe that's why. So you go out and you want fresh sneakers. And then maybe it's the gabardines that they're wearing. Maybe it's the mock neck. Maybe it's the suede front. I mean, if you 9 and 10 wearing all that crazy shit and still not getting girls, you're not understanding. Well, you're just too young.
Right.
But it's too late, because now we super duper fresh. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? So we looked at these older dudes and they didn't make you feel like a little dude, because the way our block was, there's only like one dude on the block who had a father. You know what I'm saying? So that was almost like his father was a unicorn. You know what I'm saying? And we would see him and be like, yo, that's a father.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But his sons were older than practically everybody on the block, and we related to them, and they related to us. And then everybody else who was on the block, you had guys like the leader of the gang, the Jolly Stompers, is from my block. So our block was like almost royalty in Crown Heights.
Right. Yeah. I
So, so we had all of that happen, and then they were treating us like we were one of them. So, we had to start to fit in. My first pair of sneakers with a name brand on it, I got from my uncle when I was like 9. And it was Pro Kids, and all the older guys on the block were like, got a pair of Pro, okay. Clark, get Pro Kids, okay, how can we see you?
Right.
And
right.
you feel like, yes.
Gotta
And then
acknowledge.
but now you need more.
All right.
Because you need them to act the same way again. And you're not going to act like that for the same black Pro Heads that you got. So you got to get another color.
Right.
So now you're doing whatever you got to do to get money to get another pair. Because you can't ask your mother. Because she doesn't got it. She ain't got it. No one in your family got it. So you got to figure out ways to get it. So then you become resourceful.
Right.
And You know, you do what you do. But think about it, if you're 9 and 10, what do you really need to spend money on?
Right.
Sneakers.
Yeah, just sneakers and
Sneakers, because
like
you didn't get no
candies,
chicks, so you couldn't spend it on chicks. So you spent it on sneakers. And me,
Facts.
I was a young DJ, so for me it was records and sneakers.
Facts. So speaking of DJing, when did you start DJing?
Oh, I learned how to DJ when I was 9.
Okay.
So I was DJing by 9.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I was.
But I had an affinity for putting needles in records since I was like 5 or 6. That thing that happened when I put a needle in a record was so addictive that I made it my business that whenever somebody wanted music played in the house, I played the music. So I lived with my grandmother. So whenever she came home from work, I knew the record that she liked. I went and I ran and I put it on the stereo. And when it came on, I was like, the magic happened.
Right.
So I didn't know why it played, so that even made it more magical for me. So it was, I'm playing this song that made my grandmother happy, so I was perfectly good with that. Like, I would play her song every day, she'd be happy, and it'd be all good. But I actually loved the music, so I just wanted to keep playing.
Well, that echoes really warmly, simply because, creating that gratification for somebody you really care about and your grandmother. I'm sure that very feeling, you take that with you every time you DJ. So bringing that back to, we recently saw you spin up the street over at 101 Brooklyn. Absolutely incredible Sunday party.
Thank you.
Religious experience. I know you didn't play gospel, but it was religion. You know what I mean? Like it was that.
It's funny, the last record I played was a gospel record.
Okay, well then you did play gospel.
Yeah, but it was a gospel record that feels like a club record, so you really couldn't tell.
Right.
But, yeah.
You still got it in there, which is fantastic. Which is
yeah, I mean, it wasn't necessarily like I'm going to play this gospel record. I just played a record that happened to be a great club record that was a gospel record.
Right. Isn't that amazing how some gospel records are actually incredibly well-written songs?
I think it doesn't necessarily matter what kind of song it is. What matters is the song good. If the song is good, you could be singing about anything. You know what I mean? So it just so happens that the song is good. You know what I'm saying? Like if you listen to You Brought the Sunshine, like you'll listen to it and be like, that's a dope record. If you really listen, you'll realize it's a gospel record. If you listen to Optimistic by Sounds of Blackness, if you listen to the words, you'll realize it's a gospel record. You know what I mean? So
I think you opened with that track. It's one of my very, very favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good song. I love the resurgence and
Hey,
how
isn't that
Chance
something?
brought
I
it
played
back.
that too, and I wasn't trying to play gospel, but I did. I played it.
Definitely. Yeah, it's good to see Chance the rapper, and the Optimistic Challenge and those sort of things. And Chicago is pumping up the goods right now. I first of all, I'm real proud of your new record. With Kanye. I think it's a great record. I think it's really, really good stuff. Kanye has been delving into, The Life of Pablo was relatively, sampling a lot of gospel music. I even know my father has a great record in the chamber called, it has to do with time, and he's been making a lot of gospel house music and things like that, and it's very, very powerful stuff. Do you feel like that's something do you appreciate that now more than when you were younger, or is that something that has time allowed for it to create more of importance to you?
I appreciate great records, and I appreciate great music, and it could, like I said, it could be any kind of music. You know what I'm saying? If it does something to you when you hear it, I'm cool.
For sure.
I'm cool with that. So, like I said, the Clark Sisters record, like the Clark Sisters are a notorious gospel group. I played their records. I didn't look at it like it was gospel music. I looked at it like it's a great record. And, there's, like I said, there's people who won't look at it and hear the gospel record. They'll hear the great record. And until you pay attention, you might miss it, that it's a gospel record, which is perfectly fine. As long as you like the record, then it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Right. Don't worry too much about the background. I'm going to do a mix under the whole thing.
It's
But
your
yeah.
show.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and thanks for being here. Um, we're here with DJ Clark Kent, just in case you're just tuning in to Jazz Under the Bridge, coming to you live from the Soul Dojo radio app, and we're gonna, talk a little bit more about some things. Um, all right, so I used to be on Twitter a lot. I think you may remember that. I'm not sure. I used to be
Mhm.
kind of quote trolling on Twitter for a little bit. I deaded my Twitter persona a while back, but I humbled myself. I go by the Shogun, but I've humbled myself. And I remember bringing up a certain moment back at a Dunk Exchange because I think I sold your boy the Air Jordan 23 Titaniums at a Dunk Exchange. It wasn't directly you, but it was through you. Maybe you remember this, maybe you don't, but it was the Titanium 23s. Your man cashed me out, I think, at like a rack, and I had like the greatest experience at a Dunk Exchange of my life because of that. But I must have been 14 years
That
old.
was my boy all day.
Right,
He was
right.
with me, yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, okay, that did really happen. All right, I wasn't tripping. Good.
Nah, I remember that.
Right. That was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I feel like getting back into some of the, like the sneaker culture stuff. So, all right, I put it to you like this. Can we talk about your history with Swoosh and where you are with Three Stripes these days? Is that something you feel comfortable speaking about?
I don't have a problem talking about anything.
Okay, fantastic.
I'm cool with both of the brands.
Which is absolutely paralleled,
I mean,
unparalleled.
it's not if you think about it, because what have I done wrong to any brand? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ask the brands to represent me. I represent me, and I like what I like, and I wear what I want.
Right.
So if a brand wants something to do with me, they want something to do with me because I'm honest about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going out there going, oh my God, I only love Nike and that's it. Or, oh my God, I only love Adidas or New Balance or Puma. And nah, I like what I like. And if we're working together, that's cool. But you can't tell me what I'm going to like and not going to like. You know what I mean? Like, probably nobody will go, yo, you can't like Valentino sneakers. They're like one of the best sneakers in my closet. I buy Valentinos all the time. But they're not like regular everyday throw on and walk around sneakers. They're like dope shit. Like I wear Bally sneakers. Like I wear whatever I want to wear. So I've done things with both brands, with more than that. I've done things with New Balance. I've done things with K-Swiss. I've done things with Nike, Adidas. I'm doing something right now with a brand called Sonra out of Germany. It's one of my favorite sneaker brands. It's brand new, but they're like amazing sneakers. So I know the owner, and I was like, yo, we need to do something. He's like, okay, what you want to do? And I gave him the idea. He was like, bet, do it, design it. We're going to make it. I'm just trying to have fun with sneakers. To me, it's not that serious, you know?
Well, I don't know. Maybe this. I hope this is the first time you're hearing this from me. But I've always had huge prospects for shoe design and things along those lines. So hopefully we could continue that conversation.
Sure.
Off
But
the
do you
mic.
design?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, I use Photoshop.
Understand what I'm saying? Do you design or do you color up?
I know what you mean.
'Cause
like,
I'm
do
not
I
a
fill in
sneaker designer.
silhouettes? Yeah. Like do I fill in silhouettes?
I mock sneakers and I reappropriate them. I would feel like I'm disrespecting a designer if I said I designed.
Right, like
You know
a
what I'm saying?
Tinker Hatfield design.
Yeah, Tinker
from
Hatfield
scratch.
design. Like if you give me this Air Force One, I can make you 100 different colorways of it, and they'll all be fresh. But I didn't design an Air Force One.
Okay, I know what you mean.
That's Bruce Kilgore's work right there.
Right. I mean, I've definitely freehanded some silhouettes that aren't limited to a previous design. But I do love appropriating original designs as well when it comes to colors and flavors and getting them, sort of associated with certain cultural aspects, things along those lines. So going back to In Control, I always felt like that was something that could use a collaboration or bridging the gap between radio and Nike and like Air and like things along those lines, and more specifically with In Control, with like a Pete Rock thing with yourself, and you know, obviously my pops and Kevy K. I know they're all really big sneakerheads and things. Um,
Me and Kev are sneakerheads. I don't know about your pops and Pete.
you know, my pops is ahead. To be honest with you,
Your pops like sneakers. He
likes it.
ain't wear me in.
Oh,
Kev,
yeah,
Kev
he
is
ain't touch
on
you.
it.
He ain't
And
touch
Kev
you,
is
yo.
on it. And
Yeah.
Pete's not. Like, Peter wear Monarchs.
right,
And be good.
right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
Be
right.
happy. Like, eat some comfortable shit, Clock. You bugging. Like, he'll say that. You know what I mean? Him and shit. Yeah. And I
I hear
respect
you.
it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't expect, or I don't actually think it'll be that cool if everybody was as enthusiastic about sneakers as everybody else. It's
Right. But I mean, yeah, you came as probably the most, you know, enthusiastic of them all.
I think more than just most enthusiastic is like I'm actually like the real,
Right.
like I really. Damon Dash, when I met him, he was 18. He came to my crib. This had to be 91, maybe.
Wow.
He came to my crib. He saw Nike wallpaper. He was confused, like, why you got so much sneakers? Like, who has this much sneakers? And then one day when the money happened for him, he wanted as much sneakers. He went in stores and bought one pair of everything. You know what I'm saying? Because he understood it after a second. He was like, oh, I get it. I get it why this dude is crazy. And girl come to your crib, they see all them sneakers, they think you're a weirdo. Like what I was doing when I was young was weird to people. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was like a weirdo. Girl come in my crib and she's looking at me like, yeah, he's off. You know what I'm saying? But now it's supposed to be the thing to have a bunch of sneakers. Y'all late.
Right.
I'm wearing sneakers that I had since 82. Like 81. Like I got a brand new pair of Avias the other day. Like, I mean, I'm
Golly.
talking rooftop sneakers. Like,
Right.
what y'all not the same way I am. You know, at one point, sometime last year, I wore a pair of Bally sneakers from 85. Just wore 'em. People like, yo, what? We not the same, bro. We just not. And the reason why I equate it that way is because when you see somebody trying to throw on some old shit, they throwing on some original Jordan 1s, too. I'm talking about sneakers from 82 and 80. Like, we not the same. And we just not the same. Like, I got brand new pairs of sneakers from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? From brand new pairs, like, in my size that I can wear. Might break, but I got them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not the same. And it's not because I'm trying to be some sneakerhead. It's not. I'm just trying to be fresh. Like, I'm mad that I got a pair of high top navy blue canvas Air Force Ones from 1994 that are a little dirty. So I won't wear them, but they're dirty because they were sitting on a shelf since 94.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, damn, I want to wear them shits, but the midsole is faded. Somebody else would be like, what? Wearing them shits immediately so I could tell everybody from 94. Yeah, but the shits is dirty, babe. It's different. I'm not wearing them because they from 94. I'm wearing them because they fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference for everyone else than it is for me. Like, I'm not doing it to say I got this or say I got that. I don't buy sneakers I don't like. I don't wear sneakers I don't like. If it ain't fresh to me, I'm not putting it on. You know what I'm saying? If it's not brand new, I'm not putting it on. That's the other part. See, that's where my addiction comes from. And my addiction isn't an addiction to having a bunch of sneakers. It's an addiction to wanting my sneakers to look brand new because I want it to stay fresh. You know what I'm saying? I just want it to be fresh. So when we walk in the store and buy 60 pair of white on white Air Force Ones, it's because I need 60 days of fresh. And then when 50 days get here, I'm going to buy another 60 because in 10 days, I'm going to need to start over. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the difference is it's just different. Like, I went 3 years straight wearing white on whites every day. So that means I had to buy white on whites all the time.
Yeah, I remember hearing those
It's the truth.
You heard it from the source.
But it's the truth. And, like, people can remember now he was wearing Air Force One. He's wearing white on whites every day. You know what I'm saying? When people was wearing Superstars back in the days, I'm talking about before Run DMC. Everybody's wearing Superstars. I was wearing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Adidas. Why? Because everybody had Superstars. I wanted to be fresher. You know what I'm saying? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's from New York City, B.
Right.
I'm repping Kareem. I'm repping the Kareems that had his face on it, not him doing the Skyhawk. The one with his, yeah, I'm for real about it. Like, we wore Clyde's because Clyde represented New York City. Clyde was the coolest motherfucker on the planet. Like,
Right.
understand me. Dude wore a fur coat and drove a Rolls Royce when we didn't know what Benzes were. Like, that's the coolest motherfucker on the planet. Clyde is the reason sneakers were cool to us. Clyde is not. This is before Air Jordan. This is before Nike. This is before Superstars. Superstars were around, but they weren't cooler than a pair of Clydes. Them shits had his name on the side in gold. You
Script.
fucking serious, B? Like, come on, B. Come on, B.
Right.
I'm talking like 70s. We was going to Glenwood Flea Market buying Clydes. Like, what the fuck y'all doing? We not the same.
I hear you. Yeah, we it's the internet.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just not the same. Like, when I was 9, I was buying Pro Keds from Glenwood Flea Market. They were $9. We used to do things around the hood, get paid $10, take 50 cents, get on the bus, go to Glenwood Flea Market, buy $9 sneakers, take 50 cents to get back if you didn't get robbed.
Crazy.
So that was half the battle, trying not to get robbed when you're going to buy sneakers. You come back, you throw them shits on immediately. Them shits do not get 2 hours of in the house time. As soon as you come back, pow, walk out in the street just to hear Glenn or Orlando or Ishmael or Jonathan or Choo Choo say, yo, yeah, okay, I got y'all niggas. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was about. It was about being fresh. So then when we made a little bit more money and we figured out Pumas, like, that's just shit said Clyde on the side, B. Clyde was a hero. I was alive when he won a championship for our Knicks. So, yeah, he's a superhero to us. When I was young, we went to a Clyde basketball camp.
Golly.
See what I'm saying? So, like, you looked at it differently. Nigga, that's Clyde. Nigga, you gonna wear this? Nigga, just says Clyde. And it was suede. Suede sneakers, man. What the fuck are you talking about?
Buttery fresh.
It's different for me than it is for these kids that's coming up. So we just wanted to be fresh. I mean, we had the toothbrushes to clean sneakers. When I started making some money, I didn't want to clean sneakers. I just wanted the shits to be new every day. I didn't have the time. I didn't feel like I wanted to sit there with some soap or some Clorox or some solution that I had to figure out to get the stains off. Fuck that. Buy a new pair. That's what I was on. So that's the reason why whenever I went to a sneaker store, I bought 2 or 3 pairs. I liked it. If I saw some white and yellow high top Airs, I knew I was going to wear them. They're going to get a little dirty. Get 3 pairs. Just get dirty. You got another pair. My addiction is from the early 80s. You know what I'm saying? Not this shit that jumped off after Spike Lee went, is it the shoes?
Right.
Because the reason there is a sneaker culture, I say that with quotations, is because of Spike Lee. It ain't because of
Spike.
It ain't because of what we were doing. Again, we were weird. You know what I'm saying? Spike Lee makes a movie wearing Jordans for the whole movie, never took the shits off. He was in bed with a chick, never took them off.
She's got to have it.
She's got to have it. And we still didn't get it until he was like, is it the shoes? And then the Jordans were broke. As soon as your Jordans are broke, the shoes became a thing. And then it was like, Jordans, motherfucker. Now you got a sneaker culture.
Right.
Nah, everybody likes sneakers, bruh. But it was weird if you liked them too much.
Right.
Jordan 1s, Jordan 2s, they sat on shelves.
Right.
Hmm.
And it started hitting until they started the campaign.
It didn't start hitting until, is it the shoes? Is it the shoes? Is it the shoes? It didn't start hitting till.
He's from Brooklyn too. Like that's a
What you
Brooklyn
want me to do,
thing.
man? So is Mike, B.
Yeah, Mike from
Come
Brooklyn.
on, man. Mike from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. Dude is Brooklyn. Come on, man.
Facts of
This
life.
shit is not again. We started it. If that's the case, fuck it. We started it.
Yes, tell the world that shit.
I'm
It
not
was
trying to
started
tell
here.
the world that because I don't think it's what everybody looks at it as. It's
Okay.
not the same for me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I'm cool. Everybody feel what they're gonna feel about it. It's cool. But me, I just like to be fresh, man.
Right.
Like what I'm wearing right now might seem super regular to somebody,
No, I like
but
them.
I like these shits, so I'm gonna wear them, and I don't care. Like they don't remember these sneakers from back in the day. I do. I had them, And they came back with special editions with the better leather and the plugs on the side and the red, white, and blue.
Nice.
We not the same. We just not. A kid will look at him and go, oh, he's just wearing some regular Adidas. I'm like, nah, big. You didn't understand tennis sneakers back in the day, so you won't understand what I'm wearing right now. You won't get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? If Von Lendls came back out with the word Lendl on the side, I had 20 pair. I would buy 20 pair just because they were the original Lendls that we all wore. We went to Herman's to get. Like, people don't even know what Herman's was. People don't know what Triangle Sports is. They don't know what. They didn't know that back in the days Paragon had wild sneakers.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I bought Filas from a place called Scandinavian. No one knew they sold sneakers. I found them in Scandinavian, went in there looking for a CB jacket, found Filas and was like, I ain't never seen nobody with these shits. How much are these? $100. $100? Definitely got to get them. Fuck the coat. Bought the sneakers. Went back to the block. Wore the sneakers. Who I wore them in front of? Freshest nigga in the hood. His name is Born. I go right to Born. What up, Born? How you doing? He's like, what the fuck are those? Got him. I'm sorry. I got you now. It's too late. Nothing, B. You ain't seen these.
You don't
know about these. Then when he found out about them, because he read the back, they were Fila. He did what he had to do, found them. By then, I had a Lesse's on. Too late, bruh. He goes, chase down the Lesse's. Too late. I got Lottos on. Too late, Born. You ain't the guy with the shoes in the hood no more. You ain't the freshest nigga in the hood no more. The young boy is. Young boy fresher than you.
Right.
Young boy fresher than you, Born. And Born was the freshest nigga in the universe.
Right.
Born was the first person I ever saw with Gucci sneakers. To the point where we called him Gucci Born.
Oh, that's crazy. That's his name.
But when he found him, I found him the next day. Like 2 days later. Gucci sneaker? What the fuck is a Gucci sneaker? Gucci? Okay, I'm going to go find him. Where can you find Gucci sneakers? You can't find them in a hood store. You got to walk into a Gucci store. It's 1984. What the fuck is this young boy doing in a Gucci store? And when I walk in, they looking like I'm going to rob the joint. I'm like, I just want the sneakers.
That's crazy.
Get him, go back. First person I'm trying to have seen. Oh, I see you, young boy. Okay, you trying to catch up? In my mind, I'm going, I'm going to find something you ain't got. Mm-hmm. And it's going to hurt.
The race is on.
Back in the days when in the hood, when it was wintertime, you wore combat boots.
Wow, that's OG New York.
See, yo, Pops over there. You can go. Yo, listen. There was no such thing as Timberlands in New York City. I went upstate to school when I was 14. And all the kids made fun of me because I was wearing combat boots, and all the little white kids were wearing these Timberland boots.
Interesting.
I'll be damned if you're going to make fun of me. I go back home. I search for the Timberlands. I get the Timberlands. I wear them around the hood. Hood clowns me 2 years straight. For 2 years, I get clowned. But I'm going back up to school where I'm being cool because now I got these Timberlands. But realizing, yeah, I'm really wearing white boy boots.
Right, okay.
2 years later,
yeah.
the hood finds Timberland boots. And the thing is, if you know anything about Timberlands back in the days, you know they didn't find wheats, and they didn't find black Timberlands. They found beef and broccolis. Those were the first Timberlands that the hood was wearing. See, your Pops over there. I'm not lying. That's your Pops. So when I'm telling you I was on my shit, like,
Yep. That's crazy. So, I mean, nowadays they got those memes like how that's the uniform for New Yorkers.
Call it what you want to call it, man. Call it what you want to call it, B.
That's crazy.
Come on, man. I got clowned back in the
we
days
brought Timberlands to New York, bro.
I really got clowned for this shit. Especially where I was at in Brooklyn. Clown, like, yo, you wearing them combat boots? You wearing them where you wearing them work boots, nigga? You ain't out here working on no construction site. I'm like, word. That's how you feel? Okay. But went back to school where I had to be all the time, and, you know, it was okay. It's fine. I'm going to wear my construction boots on campus, and everything will be fine for me.
Oh, that's fire. That's the craziness. I think I've seen. All right, I'm gonna swing it back to some of like the Brooklyn times. Jazz Under the Bridge. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Jaz-O and Jay-Z?
The two best MCs I've ever heard of from Brooklyn.
Can you say that again?
The two best MCs I ever heard from Brooklyn.
Golly.
I mean, still, they're the two best MCs ever from Brooklyn.
And there's a difference between rapper and MC.
for sure.
Yeah, but they're the best MCs
Yeah,
out of
like
Brooklyn.
and Jazzo was that first. He
Right.
was lyrically bar for bar.
He was
out
signed
of
to
this.
EMI, right?
Yeah,
EMI like 1988, 80,
yeah,
89.
87
80
maybe.
okay, even
Something like
earlier.
that.
They
It
were
was
out in
early.
London,
It was
right?
early.
They went to London.
Yeah, but that was after he had already had a record out. Like
Right.
type. He did records with Fresh Gordon.
Okay.
He had a record called I Believe in Music with Fresh Gordon on Tommy Boy. But it was Fresh Gordon's record and he was featured on it. He was signed to EMI. He had the originators. He had Hawaiian Sophie. Jay-Z was on Hawaiian Sophie.
Right.
But yeah, like Jazz, like bar for bar, I don't know anybody who had better rhymes line for line than that guy right there. He was intergalactic
That's the word.
rhymes, like intergalactic bars. Like he would say shit that we would be like, what? And then he'd explain it and it would have three meanings and you'd be like, dog, we're still trying to get past double entendres. You want triple
Triples.
entendres? Dog, I quit. Like he was just saying craziness, like satellite iridium, Mont Blanc, the paper. Like, wait, dog, first of all, no one knows what a Mont Blanc is unless they've had a real pen set before. Like, what do you mean Mont Blanc? You can't tell a kid that.
Right.
But he was saying shit like he was intergalactic bars.
And where'd you come across
Jazzo?
Yeah, where'd you
Fresh
come
Gordon's
across
crib.
at the crib?
I mean, if you was from Brooklyn and
It's
you was
Leftwood
outside.
Gardens? No, was that Leftwood Gardens?
Who?
Uh,
Fresh Gordon's crib?
yeah.
Nah, he was in Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
He was on Van Buren Street.
Okay.
Fresh Gordon was like mini genius, and he produced Push It.
Wow.
And when I was with Dana Dane, he was
Oh,
producing,
wow.
helping Herbie Lovebug and all
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know, but if you were there, you knew.
Absolutely.
He was like a wizard. Like he was doing computer type shit before people even thought to go that route. The way he was making beats, like he figured out how to scratch on a keyboard. Like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He was way ahead of the motherfuckers. He was.
Wow. And he introduced you to Jay-Z.
Jazzo introduced me to Jay.
Yeah.
But it happened at Gordon's house one day, and then I was just like, yo, Jazz, who? And then we went back to the hood, and he rapped in front of me, and I was just like, this is insane.
You ever see Jay-Z back in Marcy back in that day? Like you ever
Yeah,
go meet up with him
that's
back in the
where
hood?
we went. I went to Marcy with Jazz to go see him the second time and heard him rap and all of that shit. And then when I got a job at a record company, like the first thing I did was like, where's Jazz, where's Sauce? I mean, where's Jazz and where's Jay?
Yeah,
I'm
shout to
signing
Sauce
them.
too, right? Shout
Yeah.
to Sauce Money.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
I look for Jazz. He's like, I don't know where Jay is. So I got to find Jay. And I did what I had to do. It's funny you mentioned the Shirt Kings, because Fade from the Shirt Kings, one day we just got in a conversation and I just was like, man, I'm fucking trying to find Jay. He was like, Z? I was like, yeah, Jay. He was like, oh, I know where he's at. Picked up the phone, called somebody crib. Dude's on the phone. I was like, what the fuck? Yo, dog, I need you to come up here. Let's get this record shit going. He was like, fuck that shit. So it took a number of, when I come up, I'll call you. So he comes up
Yeah,
when he
to
calls.
really-
But now I got him and Jazz, and they bring somebody else. And it's Sauce. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh, nah, Sauce is crazy, Clark. So I hear him, and I'm just like, geez, all three of these niggas crazy. Okay, what we going to do? So the idea in the beginning was Jazz and Jay. So I started working on that. And then Sauce was getting on so many records that it became Hard Pack. So it was me and these three. And that we were the Hard Pack. And we were going to make records as the Hard Pack. And we started. And then Damon, now understand me, this is after I had already given Damon a deal with Original Flavor and the Future Sounds at Atlantic Records. But
Right.
again, my thing was I got to find these guys because I want to sign them. Even though I had already wanted to sign Original Flavor and the Future Sound, I signed them. They were already moving. But in the midst of it, I found Jazz and Jay and Sauce, and we start moving on shit. And then one day, I just really paid attention to the way Damon was about it. And I was like, yo, you need to meet Jay. He's like the best rapper in the world. Best MC. ever. He was like, he ain't better than Big L. I'm like, okay. That's what you say. And it took the time that it took for it to happen, but when he met him, he was like, nah, you're right. Like, this dude is amazing. But back to where you were asking, you asked me where did I see him first. First time I met him was in Fresh Gordon's house. It was a quick meeting. I heard him rap, but then it was like, I need to hear this guy again. Went to Marcy with Jazzo, met him again. I believe Jay probably won't even remember that because it was so like, yo, Jay, spit something. And I walked away from there going, this is the best MC in the fucking universe.
Crazy.
You have to understand, like, I knew Rakim.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
even though it's tough when you're knowing dude to be like, yo, this dude is actually, to me, he's better. You know what I'm saying? While he's being Rakim, while he's following the lead of Rakim, I'm thinking, yeah, can nobody be better than Rakim? How? Well, I'm wrong for that because, Jazz is probably the best you've ever heard. But no, Jazz is one of the best you've ever heard because this guy, he had something extra.
Right. Yeah, big shouts to the Marcy area. I like to. I mean, these days I walk by Marcy.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
You can say you walk by Marcy.
Yeah,
Nobody walking by Marcy.
I walk by there all the
unless
time.
they walk by with the limp because the hammer's so heavy on their side. They're like, yo, walk with the limp so they know you got that thing on you, baby.
Facts.
And you couldn't go to Marcy Projects. You kidding me?
Yeah, I know. I mean, the reason why, because, my origins is Queensbridge. So, to me, like, it's like almost like
Queensbridge is rough.
Like the other
Queensbridge
side.
was not Marcy Projects.
Right. Tell them.
Nah, it was just what I used to be in the bridge. I used to be in the bridge with Hot Day.
Nice.
I used to be in the bridge with your pops. I used to mess with a girl over in Queensbridge. I used to be there a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from Brooklyn, and it was rough, but it wasn't the same as going to Marcy. Like, nah. Just nah.
Yeah, it's a different.
Yeah, Brooklyn's a
ballgame out
different
here.
planet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a different planet. It is. No disrespect to anybody's hood. There are rough hoods all over New York City, but Brooklyn is like some other shit.
Word. I don't know if you covered this too often, because I know people in the burbs always will remember my father because of Notorious B.I.G. and mentioning Dad and Juicy.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were real close, and you produced the record that Big and Jay have together.
Right.
How was that experience, bro? Like, I mean, I know it's probably really dense, and it's probably really, sentimental to you.
The thing is, when you ask the question that you asked, you gotta put yourself in the moment, and in the moment, you're not thinking you're recreating a wheel. You're thinking you're just making this song. You know what I'm saying? When you hear somebody on Instagram, yeah, we go in the studio, make some history. You're a fucking liar. You can't make history. Yet there's no such thing as making history when you don't know it's happening.
Right.
You just don't. It's impossible. So when you got dudes and they got a camera crew rolling around with them, what you got that for, bruh? I've never seen anybody with a camera crew walk into a studio, keep rolling, and have the footage from when the magic was made. Not one. I haven't seen it ever. Like, show me the magic being made on camera. You didn't. Nah. You can't manufacture that shit. The shit is gonna happen or it's not gonna happen. And the like, just the way that Brooklyn's Finest happened, you didn't think, oh, this is gonna be it. All I wanted to do was get them on the same record. I didn't even think how amazing it was gonna be. I just thought they're my favorites, and I want them on the same song. And I don't care if it's Jay's record. I'm telling him he got to put Biggie on it. He's going to say no. I don't care. He's going to say no. Biggie wanted to be on the record too. Biggie wanted the record for himself.
He wanted the beat for himself,
right. I made a mistake. He should have never heard the shit. If the mistake doesn't happen, Brooklyn's Finest doesn't get made.
Absolutely.
So, I got to deal with that. I got to deal with the fact that I made a mistake to my man, and then go to my next man and ask him, because I made a mistake and because I promised off of that mistake that I would ask, I got to go ask him. And then I got him waiting downstairs. Like, I thought you said you was going to ask. So now I got to ask. But I got to ask after the proceedings happened with him making the record in the first place.
Wow.
So he's
moving
gotta
in real
wait.
time.
He's
Yeah,
gotta
the-
wait
the
downstairs
judge.
while Jay is recording. And he's gotta sit there and smoke weed until I go downstairs and be like, yo, come on upstairs, let's see what happens. Cause Jay didn't know why I left, but I brought him back up like.
Was that wasn't the day they met though, right? Was
Yeah,
that
that's the day
that's
they
the
met.
First, and they apparently they really got tight that day.
Yeah, like they got tight the next day because there was
Okay.
a video shoot and he went to the video shoot.
You went
but
to the dead president.
you have to understand like the level of respect that they had for each other. I will say this. And when I say we, I mean me, Jay, and the crew, we had a lot of respect for Biggie already because who's better than Biggie?
Right.
Which rapper is better than Biggie? Nobody.
Never.
MC? Yeah, Jay. Okay. But then it's Biggie right there. You know what I mean? So we're making Jay's album, but I'm DJing for Biggie. So it's a real ill dynamic. So
Wow.
I'm on a tour bus with Biggie, trying to give him, not even like just let him know, but more like a fair warning. Like, my man is deadly. Like, really deadly. Like, and you're going to have to deal with that soon. He cool. You don't understand, dog. Like, he's fucking. Oh, man, Clark, what you always talking about? Okay. And then Un calls him. And he's like, yo, you heard the dead president shit? Yeah, nah, the shit's good. Cool. Couple weeks go by. We still on the road. Dead Presidents 2. Yo, you heard the Dead Presidents remix? Yo. Fuck, yo. This motherfucker's great. Yo, Clark, man. You might be right, man. That nigga's bananas.
Wow.
I'm like, told you. So now he has that level of respect for him. You know what I'm saying? So for him to hear a beat and I have to go, that's Jay's record, and he gets mad because he heard it. Like I said, he heard it by accident. He wasn't even in the room. So it was definitely an accident. It's just that he could hear it from outside of the room, came running in the room, had one boot on. It was crazy how he ran in the room. He was like, no, I need that. And I had to tell him no.
Yeah.
But the same day I had to record it for Jay. So I was just like, yo, just come to the studio and let me see what happens. And he's like, nah, I need to get on that record. I'm like, how you want to get on a record with somebody you don't know? But it didn't matter. It was the record. He was like, I need to be on that beat. So I like the idea, but I don't know what Jay's gonna do to the song. So I have to wait until he does what he's doing to the song. And the song, it was 2 titles for it bouncing. It was No More Mr. Nice Guy and Once We Get Started. And then when I asked, the conversation went the way that it went. If he does, it's all good, but we ain't paying Puff. And everybody's like, well, I don't know the nigga. And I was like, well, I know. He's my man. So he's like, well, if you say yes, it's all good. Go to them. Yo, I'm going to the bathroom. I go downstairs. I bring him up. I introduce him. All they can do is laugh because they really had real respect for each other's lyrical ability. He was like, yo, you want to fuck with it? He was like, yeah. So he's like, yo, give me 20, 30 minutes. Jay stands there, bobs his head, 20 minutes, goes in the booth, changes all the verses, and leaves the spaces. You can go in those spaces. You ready? He was like, fuck, what? And he goes, how did you do that? I said, remember when I told you don't write his rhymes down? I told you. I fucking told you. You didn't believe me. He was like, Clark, that shit was crazy. I told you my man is super nice. He's a fucking unicorn, B.
And then he picked up that.
Instantly, he was like, "Oh, I'm never writing rhymes
Yeah,
again."
he
If
did
he
that
could do that, I'm not doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna have one up on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sheesh,
So,
put him on the
you know.
game.
But
Give
but
me
the
1
thing is,
second.
like,
I gotta
I
get
was
my
really
time.
warning him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he's not regular, B.
I was just like, wait, how are these two together on the same track? Like, how does that
Some
even
dude,
happen?
some dude,
Yeah,
some dude,
Some guy just hanging out
some
with
Brooklyn
us.
dude.
Just hanging out with us here today for Jazz on the Bridge over here at Lucky Laced. Oh man, and so you chopped up that joint in your studio.
Yeah.
Tell me how you found that sample, because I mean that sample's one of
It's
the
my
most
favorite
musical
record ever.
samples. Yeah, it's
The
super
record's
duper
my
musical.
favorite record ever. Ecstasy by Ohio Players is my
100%.
favorite song ever. And people don't know, and they'll probably never find out, but I used it before. But I only used one bar. And it was cool, but it didn't feel as soulful as using 5 bars. So when I made it with 5 bars, it complicated how you were going to rhyme to it, but it felt so right that you had to rhyme to it. But there was another layer to the record. The thought is that every time I DJ'd a party, that was the last record I played every time. So it became like a crew favorite. So it was a favorite of Jay-Z and Dame and Biggs, and we loved that record. And I played it at the end of every party, and it's like we waited for it, like play it and everybody just be happy, and then we go home. And one day Dame says, "Yo, make a beat off of it again."
Wow.
So I make it again, but this time I tried to figure out how to make it more soulful, and using 5 bars made it soulful, but it also complicated the way Jay had to rhyme to it. But he figured it out.
Intro. You had that like sort of intro because it's not a standard square like 4
No,
by
it's not 4
you
bars,
got
it's 5.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why every time they switch, Jay says half a bar, then he says the back half, or he says the front half, and it's like the half a bar thing.
It's brilliant stuff. Wow. So is that why you leaked "Ecstasy" by Kanye West?
No, I leaked "Ecstasy" by Kanye West because we were in the studio in Calabasas.
Okay.
And he's
no
like,
relation to the titles.
No, Ecstasy, he's talking about drugs.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
he said, I wrote this song off Ecstasy.
Yeah.
He's talking about the drugs. That's why he called it Ecstasy. But
Right. And Ohio Players, they're talking about the feeling.
yeah,
that
that's
you get.
totally different.
Right.
But even if you listen to the sample, Ecstasy, it's just a word. That's not the name of the sample or nothing like that. But we were in the studio working on tracks. We didn't know we was working on tracks for. I went there to do one thing, and the one thing turned into a group of things, one of them being the Little Pump and Kanye joint.
Wow.
Cool. But when we were there, he's like, "Yo, I got this record. I want to put it out tonight." And we listened, and I was like, "I like this shit. I just like the way it felt." So I said, "Yeah, that's dope." He said, I don't want to release it like just so regular." I said, "Give it to a DJ." He was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Just give it to a DJ. Let the DJ release it." Like he leaked it and had an exclusive. And he was just like, "Word." I was like, "Yeah, that's dope." He goes, "You're a DJ?" And I was like, "Oh shit." So he was like, "Yeah, you release it." And what was supposed to happen was you were supposed to see a picture of him and I working on music. It's just we never took the picture. And then he left, and then he was like, "Go ahead, you can release it." I was like, "Dude, you're not here for the picture." And then he sent me a picture of the girls at the party the night before. He was like, "We use this as a cover." And I was like, "What?" But you can't tell an artist when he's being artistic
Absolutely.
what to and what not to.
He was adjusting. He was just like finding the next best thing. Like
Nah,
maybe
but
they didn't have-
that for him was the best thing.
Right.
My idea. That's the reason why the quote I wrote was sitting in the studio with Kanye. Kanye says, "Let the record go,"
Right.
because that's what happened. He's like, "Let the record go."
And that's how you how's your experience? Like, man, like I'm such a big Kanye fan.
So am I.
Yeah. I
Like,
can
I'm
imagine.
a huge Kanye fan. Me,
Right.
artistically.
Yeah. Artistically, let's get
Right,
that straight.
yeah.
Like man, like, cause I know you're gonna be a big part of this rollout or this record coming out.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Because I don't know what he used. I don't know if he used anything.
Right.
I made
right.
some tracks. I know what he used so far, but I don't know if he used anything for this album. I know he's doing like 12 albums.
Right.
So it could be something that goes on Push's album that I did that day. It could be something that goes on Tiana's new album or Kid Cudi's new album or any of his artists or any artist that he's doing. Like, I think he's doing another Nas album. If he does another Nas album and one of the tracks comes from there, from what I did, then okay, cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
right.
I don't know what his album sounds like. It's funny because I was going to call him today just to talk to him about it.
Okay.
Because I just was curious. What are you letting go of? What's there? should I be calling a lawyer? You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
Like,
for
what are we
sure.
doing?
Get ready. Yeah,
Because,
get ready for it. If anything.
Because the joint with Lil Pump, the I Love It joint, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was just like, yo, here's this song. And I was like, wait, what? Wait, when did... Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And then, you know, like, let me knock on wood. That record,
Yeah,
it just
bro.
took off.
Absolutely, it's a massive record.
Yeah.
You know, it's aligned with some very interesting things artistically. That we always analyze, and we actually, Dan was actually thinking about copping a costume, but that's neither here nor there because he put the costume out for the video. But yeah, there's
Think about this: that weekend that song came out and the video came out, it was a Friday night. The next day, at the Oregon football game, the Oregon Duck came out to the song with the Roblox costume on, but as the Duck.
As
the
the
Duck was a
from
Roblox.
Oregon. Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
The next day, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not even gonna get to the integrities of that because Oregon.
I don't.
That's crazy.
I don't have a good answer for you, but just think it was the next day. What?
I mean, that's magnitude and power.
I mean, that's
pretty
just the record. It hit you a certain way.
definitely.
You know?
And how was it working on it? How was it working on that record? Like what? You show? Did you show him that quote in the beginning, or was that your flavor right there? Like
What, what the
homegirl talking
nah,
about
that's Kanye. He's on that. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't tell you how it was working on it. I could tell you making the musical part of it was working with Kanye is kind of different because Kanye can look at one thing and go, oh, well, this guy over here did this. Maybe we should add this from over here. So instead of the record just saying produced by Kanye West and DJ Clark Kent, you'll see produced by CJ Mix and produced by Ronnie J. And you'll like, well, what happened there? It's because certain things were pulled from certain places, but the basis of what you hear, the reason why you probably like the record, that was, yeah.
That's the genius of
That's
all the
the-
ones.
But what I'm saying, the thing that makes you go, oh yeah, this record's crazy, is the bass line.
Right.
That's
right.
me. Like I found that and was like, I found it out. Like I said, I made 10 joints that day.
Wow.
And when I found that, I told the engineer, that's the one he's gonna love. And the engineer thought I was crazy. And I was like, trust me, he's gonna love that one. And then I left, and then I get a call from him from Barbados going nuts. Like, yo, this shit with the bass, oh my God. I'm just like,
Yeah,
And I call the engineer, like I told you, right? I told you he was gonna like it, right?
And that comes from your ears being a DJ and being in the radio. You know what's gonna work. Would you say? Like,
I don't know. It just was a feeling. It just felt like it needed to be right now. And it's a right now record. And it went number one.
Absolutely.
I
Congrats
can't-
on that, bro.
Thank you. Just trying to make good songs. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, the content is unbelievable. But it's not. The song isn't about content. The song is about feeling. It's a feeling record. It's a record more than it is a song. You know what I mean? Sky's the Limit is a song. This is a record.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I see that. Lastly, let's talk a little bit about the originals, because I know you got your party.
Hold on for a second.
Yeah, I know you got the originals
Wait,
parties.
he's not recording.
Oh yeah, okay. No worries about that.
Wait for your man. Let your man get his recording sound. I don't want you to be like, yo, I need you to come back because we fucked the shit up. We ain't record you, God. So we gotta do the whole shit over again. No.
Your man just called me.
Okay. That was him asking for the address. I really like that song. That Ecstasy record.
Yeah,
I like that shit.
It's
I
crazy.
like that shit. People were looking at me like, you like that shit? And I was like, yeah, I like that shit. I'm a DJ. I play for energy. I play off of energy. Why the fuck wouldn't I like that shit? Shit's fire.
Yeah, it's definitely a record, bro. That shit is crazy.
Ecstasy, ecstasy, ecstasy.
Zipped up on the
Woo!
whole joint. Just brilliant stuff.
You got steps. You got sisters-in-law. You want to fuck? I got 4 of them. Okay, bro.
It's crazy.
He was wilding, B. He was wilding.
Yeah, he be wilding. Definitely.
He was wilding. What's funny is when people heard the shit, they were like, "That's the old Kanye." And I was like, "Really?" Because I never got that. But then I guess that's how you felt.
Yeah, you could play that with like something off Graduation. You
I
could play
guess.
that
And
around
the
that
thing is,
era.
I wasn't looking that far back. And then when people heard, I love it, they were like, "That's old Kanye too." And I was like, "Really?" I'm a sick fuck. I like a sick fuck. I was just like, "Really?"
Yeah, I mean, I was bumping that today. It's a vibe. It's a record, man. Like that's what you're saying. It's not a song. It's
Not a
something
song,
you
it's
throw
a
on.
record.
You know, you feel good. You know, it's a feel. It's a vibe. And that's what it's all about. Yeah, it's crazy. I think we spoke about it briefly, but about 2 years ago, I want to say I might have sent you an email regarding. I mean, we spoke a little bit about some executive production. I'll go find the bag for it. But I think that'd be amazing because I have some music that I want to show for you or show to you, and it'd be great to add your level of godly expertise. I would say.
I don't know if it's that, man. I just hear it and I understand it or I feel it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't think I'm a wizard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. I think I hear it and I feel it. I'm a DJ, so I hear differently and I listen differently, but I just gotta hear it and get it. Like Los, who was signed to Bad Boy for years. I'm the first person to ever hear Los, and I tried to sign him immediately, but then they met with Bad Boy, and I'm not. If I'm an A&R vice president and you meet with Puff, who's the owner, who you gonna sign with? I can't fight that. You know what I'm saying? So okay, you sign with Puff. Today I watched him in a battle rap, like on a video battling Head Ice from Harlem. But he was going wild, and I was like, that's the little kid that I met like 14, 15 years ago, and now he's going wild on battle rap. First one of them URL type battles that he's ever been in, and he was going bananas, and I was just like, God, I would love to have had the ability to be the guy who was making his first record so that you could have gotten to hear it. He got caught up in a place where he didn't get to really drop his records and drop his albums and all that. So
Right.
I would, like I heard it, and then I heard him rhyming today, and I heard it again. I was like, dude is super nice. He's not nice. He's super nice. So I'm just like, shh. So I had to call him. Yo, Los, what's up, little bro? Unc. I was like, shh, what are you doing? Because I was like, you was scorching in that battle. I can't believe you was in a battle rap. He was like, Unc, I could do it, so I just did it, and I was fuck with the culture. And I was like, yeah, I hear you, but what are you doing? Oh, I'm signing RCA now. And I was, call him and tell him, let me do your album. I don't know what made me say it. I don't know if it's something that the label's gonna let me do, but if they do, I'm gonna take my time and make him make 14 bombs because he trusts me, and that's what the music business is lacking. That's why so many artists get a record deal and they take the budget and go make the albums themselves. They don't trust the guy who's supposed to be helping them craft the album. The A&R guy is really just a dude cutting a check. He's not a guy who makes records. You know what I'm saying? Like I make records.
Right. Yeah, that's what we're here to do. We're definitely here to make some records, man. That's amazing. Tell us about your show coming up with the originals.
Every month, me and 4 DJs, that's D Nice, Stretch Armstrong, Tony Toucher and Rich Medina. We do a party called The Originals. It's a departure from when you go to a club, because when you go there, nobody's VIP, nobody's on a guest list. There's no VIP area. There's no sparklers. There's no nothing. Everybody pays. Everybody comes. When you come in, it's a party. It's not, the reason, like, if you try to go find The Originals footage online and, people partying at The Originals, you can't find it because you don't have time to be like, because the party's too good. You know what I'm saying? People are dancing too hard and they're having too much fun, and there's as much girls as there is guys, so there's no sword fight. Like, the shit is, it's the shit to go to The Originals because girls want to dance, guys have to dance, otherwise you're not getting no burn. And it's 5 DJs who really give a fuck about each other, but we also really give a fuck about the music, so we play hard, and it's our night off. That's so we
okay, I see
so
that.
we don't play it like we were hired to play a club, because we throw the party. We play it like we all got the night off, we're gonna rock out. You know what I'm saying? So one, it's hard for us to figure it out every month. So what we do is throw dates around on a text. If everybody is cool on one date, that's when we do it. So it's not even like it's a plan. It's not even like it's third Thursday every month. Nah. It could be the 2nd. It could be the 3rd. It could be the 4th. It could be the 1st. It's however it happens, as long as once a month we get together on a day off, have a party, have fun. Because if I go and play one night somewhere, the money I can make in a night, it's going to eclipse what the Originals can make in a night, because we can each make a lot of money on our own. So when we get together, it's not about the money, it's about the party. Right, so our party is fucking dope. Like real dope. And we walk out of there with the greatest feeling, and it keeps us going for the rest of the month. You know what I'm saying? It keeps us sharp. We play together. We'll pull out a record that you wouldn't believe, like Stretch will play some Peter Gabriel shit, and we'll be like, what the fuck was that? Or I'll play a different mixed version of a Lolita Holloway record and have everybody like, dude. Or I'll play the sample from who knows, from a T.I. record, and people be like, what? But then the other guy's iron gets sharp, and they're like, nah, next time I'm coming for your head. You know what I'm saying? But it keeps us sharp, and we don't come for each other for our neck. We come for the trophy. So one of us can't win a trophy because we're a team. So if one of us does amazingly, and we all win the trophy anyway. So the idea is to play as hard as you can and have as much fun as you can at the same time. So when you come to see The Originals, 50% of you being there is seeing 5 DJs laughing and playing all night and having a good time. And considering we only do it in clubs that are built for partying, we're like right there with you. So we're partying as much as you are. Right. But it's so good. It's the one night out of our month that we are extremely looking forward to. So like, we're all always early. We're all set up at 9 o'clock, ready for that 10 o'clock door. We're all having drinks, getting ourselves libated up so that we could be wilding for the whole night. And it's our night off, so we get to just have fun.
Right. I really think it's something that every DJ out there needs to experience.
Yeah, your pops came through one night and he was like, Clark, this is the best shit ever. I was like, I told you, bro, you gotta come. Primo comes, Static Selector comes, Angela Bassett comes, Regina King comes, who else? Cookie comes, Latifah comes, Jungle Brothers come, AZ comes, Dreads for Black Sheep comes. Like, you name it, they're coming. Buster's been there, and everybody pays. Because it's the party, you're like, nah, fuck that, I'll pay.
Absolutely.
Because, one, we don't have a guest list, so, like, don't ask me.
Right.
Nah, bruh. Because come on, we ain't really making no money. You know what I mean? So
And you gotta be there.
just support it, yo. Support it. Have a good like. Here's the other part. Either you gonna pay or you're not gonna pay. If you don't pay, somebody else can get in. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, you know,
Absolutely. Shouts to Output, right? You like
we're doing it at Output now. We were at CLO for a year and a half. Before that, we were at Santos.
okay,
But I've done the party at the Apollo before, which was crazy. Whenever we don't do it in a club, we give it away. So like we did it at Central Park this summer, we gave it away. 5,500 people. It was nuts.
Wow.
It was nuts.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Central Park, man, that's the mecca for a great time.
But there's never been a park jam at Central Park. Or we
mean.
did a park
That's
jam
what
at
I
Central
mean.
Park.
Like taking the whole thing
Yeah.
to the place where
Right. And the thing was, like, I wasn't putting it out there like that, but I was just like, I don't think people really understand what's about to happen. Soon as it started, I was like, y'all ready for a park jam? They were like, oh shit, this is a park jam. My boys was looking at me like, yo, it's a park jam. I'm like, yeah, I told you it's gonna be some other ass shit. So it was crazy. It was really, really crazy for them more than me, because as soon as we agreed to do it, I was like, it's a park jam. Because they've never had a thing there where it's only DJs. It was some artist and, you know, DJ between artists. But I was like, there's no artists. We're the artists. It's going to be DJing all night. And we got the funny looks like, this ain't going to work. And I was like, you trust me. This is going to be crazy. And 2 minutes after it was over, can we lock in for next year?
Got
Word.
'em.
You're the same people who gave us the funny looks, telling me it ain't gonna work, but now everybody is like, it's the best shit that happened in the park this year. So it was easily the best summer stage all year.
that's the real deal. That's the real deal. That's where it's at. Would you do something over here at the new park, Domino?
Domino is where the Sugar Factory used to be.
Yeah, they just opened up the park here. I know Stretch opened it up. Stretch
Mhm.
Armstrong, shouts to big bro.
Yeah.
I think he opened it up over there, but they're just so new. They're just getting warm, and they
Right.
need that flavor. You know, they need that good.
Let me say this: we're not saying no to being able to do it anywhere. It just has to be right. I think the most important thing for us really is the sound system, because we're all DJs, so we want the shit to like sound crazy. So that's why we did Santos, which had one of the best sound systems, Cielo, which had one of the best sound systems, Output, which has one of the best sound systems. Anywhere we go is going to have a fully sound system, like foolish. When we did the Apollo, I brought in a sound system.
Wow, that's
It was
wild.
fucking bananas in there, but we gave it away. It was like, come for free.
Wow.
Like, what do you mean free? Yeah, it's free. Come on upstairs. Come to the Apollo. And it was free.
That's amazing.
But it was nuts. Nuts. Who's doing just a jam in the Apollo?
Yeah, Harlem's finest.
Yeah, we've taken it to Shanghai. We've taken it to all the states across the country. We've done BET after party. The BET Awards after party was the originals. Like, we've done the Warner Brothers after party for the Grammys, and when Grammys was here, we did the originals 2 days. When All Star was here back in the days, we did the originals twice in one night. So like, we had two parties going on at the same time, and a car service rotating us back and forth to the party. No games.
Wow.
No games, B.
That's,
Play hard. Go hard.
I was gonna say that's unprecedented. I mean, all those DJs out there need to get it up.
What's funny is one party was a paid party, the other party was free. And give it away, man. We had a sponsor, so we just gave it away. And then the other party was a private joint that, you know, for a brand that they had to invite you to. Ours was like, just give us an email address. If the shit works, you'll get in.
Right.
It was nuts. All-Star weekend. No games, B.
Phoebes up here. Yeah, we gotta make sure we make our way. I've been to one, but I haven't been to one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I
yeah.
haven't been there to piece y'all up. I just kind of there with a little date, like 2 seconds, like real nervous, you know, because I'm trying to impress somebody and stuff. But I gotta go there and really experience the whole thing, and you know. So I look forward to the 18th. It is this month,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's
So we check
18th.
it out, October 18th.
Yeah,
Man, that's
Yeah.
the real
it's
deal.
gonna be crazy. It should be. It usually always is. It's always crazy. We usually sell out every month.
Yeah, it's a hard party to get into. It's definitely.
I mean, it's not that hard to get into. It sells out. So the thing is, we still do leave enough space for people who want to walk in. It's just that you'll walk in and it'll be sold out. So,
Right.
you know, you should have bought your tickets. It's gonna cost more at the door. I suggest to people always buy a ticket. As soon as we put the flyer up, you should buy tickets because it's gonna sell out.
Right. Yeah. That being said, make sure you check out the originals in the city near you. When they come take over your town, you better look out there. Oakland, better look out. San Fran, better look out. West Side,
Everywhere. When
better look out.
when
Worldwide.
the originals show up, the party will be fire.
Absolutely. All right, so that about wraps up our time with the great, the legendary, the God, the one and only
Uncle Clark.
Uncle Clark in the building. It's amazing. Signing off for Jazz Under the Bridge. Can you just say, can you introduce yourself and say what we're listening to?
It's your boy, Brooklyn's finest, New York Giant, God's favorite DJ, Clark Kent. You are now